guys, welcome again to another episode of Let Me Drive. Today we're going to be going ahead and driving this car right here. This is a C6 Z06 and let me show you this because I'm pretty sure you guys are pretty interested in this. This is actually wrapped. So it's all wrapped by C7 Sloan on Instagram, but the owner of this car is actually Mr. Xtalgic himself. So we're going to talk to him more about what this car is, and basically what made him want one of these. And besides, obviously a naturally aspirated 7-liter V8. So let's go ahead and take this out for a spin. So let me mention this too. I don't know if you guys could see this, but we do love our carbon fiber. We have carbon fiber lip in the front, and then we have our carbon fiber spoiler. Pretty neat. Now let's go ahead, take this for a drive. Now, thankfully, I do fit in this vehicle, so that is a plus. Could you hold this for me, sir? So this vehicle actually has, like I mentioned before, it's one of the cleanest condition C6 that I've ever seen. By that I also mean it's pretty low in mileage. So let's go ahead and we could just put the key right here, I believe, right? Just anywhere. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I am an amateur on this. Not really familiarized with this car. So let's go ahead, put the clutch in, put it in neutral, and listen to that Corsa exhaust. Ooh. Okay. That sounds really nice. Now, let me mention this. Oh, it says Xtalgic when you start it up?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. This guy's a hacker. Driven this car before, but honestly, I was pretty inexperienced back then, and I still feel like I will be, so please don't roast me on my skill of driving manual. This thing is no joke, especially under these conditions. Right now it's around 39 degrees. That means we're gonna get no traction at all today. First off, we're gonna try to at least have fun safely. Our goal is to not hit either any curb or any tree by the end of the day, and then we're golden. Sounds good?
Please don't, yeah.
Alright. So like I mentioned before, this thing has a Corsa exhaust, which sounds really, really good. This thing has a lot to play with. The rev range is amazing. I was just talking to him about how I noticed second gear could take you all the way to 80 miles an hour. How?
Those are super long gears, man.
They are. Anyways, let's talk here to Xtalgic himself and talk to him about what made you want this vehicle.
What made me want this vehicle?
Yes.
I'm a sucker for value, I would say. I've just always liked Corvettes when I was like younger, and I'm not like the youngest fella out there, but I saw when the C6 ZR1 came out, I went to the auto show, they had it on display. They literally had the car like vertical, like showing off like the underside and the plexiglass like hood seat there. I just like fell in love. I was always a C6 video game guy. I would always pick the C6s. I just love them. I actually never driven one before I purchased this car.
So this is the first one that you ever drove?
I've ever drove in my life. I know that I always love these things. I'm not even particularly a Chevy guy or like an American car guy, but this is just a dream car of mine. I like this more than the ZR1 just because, like Jorvis said, naturally aspirated motor, big old motor. I just love these things, and this is actually a car that I learned manual driving in, and so like it just like more of a connection for me. So when I got this car, it was like everything, every review, every article, everything I've ever read or seen or consumed about this car was like true. Super light, super engaging, it's raw, it's comfortable for daily drive, and it's like such a value. I mean, not anymore in this market, but I just like fell in love with this car before I got it, and then just solidified my love for it when I purchased it, acquired it, and learned manual on it. It's just an incredible car, incredible. I will say too, coming from a car that I've had for a number of years with no aftermarket support, you can literally build these cars into whatever you want. A drift car, a road course car, a drag car, like a street car, like anything. So this car is more of a street car. Speaking of like aftermarket support, this car literally doesn't need much. Like this car is bone stock aside from the Corsa axle back.
And honestly, I do not go ahead and drive this and say, man, this needs more power.
Right.
I cannot, like, honestly, right now, I'm just like giving it the slightest amount of throttle. Because first off, you have to think about the power to weight ratio in this thing. Like 505 horsepower, let's say we put that into the wheel horsepower, let's say it's 470. That is still a lot for a car that's close to 3,000 pounds.
3,100 pounds. That's the magic behind this car is buttloads of torque, huge engine, revs high, and it weighs literally nothing.
And the 50 to 50 weight ratio,
Yep.
which throws you off because you could comfortably throw this into a turn, which takes you by surprise.
My first V8 was from the Genesis, so I've never really had experience with V8s before the Genesis, but modern V8s are so reliable. They sound good. They have good power. So I just kind of fell in love with V8s, and naturally the biggest one that you can get aside from a Viper that's naturally aspirated is this car. It just kind of worked out that way. I just love V8s. I'm an old school kind of guy. I love the sound. This one produces incredible performance out of a huge, I mean, a 7-liter that revs up to 7K is fucking amazing. There you go, here's your straight.
Getting to 7K is something satisfying in this car. It gives you that kind of like, and I don't want to swear, but it kind of gives you that factor. Like in the end, you're like, I survived that, if that makes any sense. But it's kind of like this isn't real. Like it's just, it's an amazing experience, and this is actually one of the craziest experiences that I've had. In the passenger seat, you definitely feel, I wouldn't say scared, but you do feel that you feel the car way more. If you ever get in this car with someone, you better know they're a good driver. You cannot just trust anyone that says, "Hey, this is my first time driving this car."
I agree, dude, because here, I'll let you get this.
That's what I mean. You can't trust anyone.
It's coming a little hot for the weather, but it's a really good point because this car truly is no joke. It weighs nothing. It has a bunch of power, like we've said, and it takes almost no effort to get this thing out.
It does.
And it
not.
will, and it does. And the traction control system, like full on, is okay. It does get you, like, let you get away with a little bit, but like if you're, you know, doing what you're doing on a turn like that in this kind of weather, it's sketchy.
It is, isn't it? Honestly, back roads is the best thing. That's why I wanted to review this here. And I actually didn't release the review of this car before, just because the roads, and there's just so much traffic. And I want something like this where we can, you know, enjoy a back road and a nice scenery and be able to give you guys that nice sound in the background.
I will also say, like, the tires that came on this aren't the best. And I'm sure, like, with new rubber, like good rubber, this thing would feel completely different. We also filled up on gas, which is a little fun fact about this car. Like, it has 2 gas tanks, one on each side of the back.
Which helps with that 50-50.
Which helps for weight distribution. And in weather like this, it'll put a little more weight on the wheels.
That's good.
But like when this car is like half, it's sketchy.
That's 4th gear. Man, you have torque anywhere you want to go, you just give it a little, and it'll go. It'll catch up to any Tesla.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's got a lot of torque. So this car, like, contrary to popular belief, this car is actually very, very easy to learn how to drive manual. So like I think I like fared pretty well because because it's got so much torque, so you can get away with a lot more different gears, like launching and stuff, like getting out of first and stuff.
Now, let's say someone is looking for their first ever car. Would you recommend this as their first ever car?
No.
And why?
I wouldn't even, dude, this car is so light, and if you're inexperienced, like, you will wreck this thing. Like, even the base LS3s, like, they're no joke. They just weigh nothing, these cars. And, like, big old V8 gobs of torque, like, I wouldn't... You need to be experienced, or at least a little bit older, to have a little more common sense to drive these cars. And I think, like...
You have to learn this one word, which is called traction.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to control when you don't have traction.
Dude, even me, at, like... You know, above 30 years of age, I've driven a lot of stuff, but like this is so different because it weighs nothing, you know? And being a manual, you're in control of everything, you know? So like learning manual on this car, you know, obviously you're gonna stall, you're gonna put it in the wrong gear, and like shit can go wrong.
Have you ever driven this car to the point where you're like, I am not in control? Like this thing is like, it's unpredictable.
I haven't been a complete idiot yet, but I have that feeling right now with you driving. No, but have fun, dude. Have fun. Just be responsible. There you go. That pop, those pops are awesome.
Oh my god.
Now imagine like this is bone stock. This is from factory like this. People cam these things and like tune them and like, you know, pull out 100, 150 more horsepower out of these things.
Because even right now, I'm scared on even giving it 3/4 or even half throttle in turns.
It gets really sketchy up top, like past 5K.
Yeah.
Even rolling into it, especially in this colder weather. But you should bring it up top at least once.
Up top once.
Like 2 red line. Let's see what's over the hill first.
Second, sketching. Brakes are good. The brakes are really good too.
I wish we had a camera on your face.
Oh god. I could only wonder how you feel. Oh.
Imagine having this much power in this light of a chassis, like as your first manual car. It's so tempting.
It is.
You know?
It is, but then in your head you're like, I want to live.
Yeah. Well, it's more not so much about me. It's like my baby. You know?
Yeah.
You don't want, and like we'll probably be fine. There's airbags and shit, but I don't know. It's so much at your foot and your fingertips. It's like tempting not to do dumb shit.
Yeah. Let me hear this thing in the tunnel.
Yeah. Hold the clutch in. Grab it.
This is the experience that I wanted. I wanted to do it in a back road, so I could at least give it that full reel.
I'll tell you, man. Like, experience is a good word. This is an experience to drive. It's super raw. Like, I've driven multiple. I mean, you have too. Like, supercars are like okay. They're like supercars. They're super.
But this is up there with their category, though.
But they don't feel like this.
They don't. They don't. They feel very. And I'm not gonna say the word safe. I'm gonna say they don't feel too connected to the drive. Where this, you feel everything. You feel very connected. You feel very in focus with the transmission, with the steering, with everything.
Nothing's numb either.
Exactly.
We should jump in on this hill.
No. Feel the vibration.
That's my favorite part of the shifter.
That's amazing. Thunderstorm in the background. want to say like manly, but it feels very Merc. And,
Yeah. Like you need to be deliberate with it.
yeah.
And it
There's
takes
a sense
some
of
move.
satisfaction.
Yeah.
And it's just like. And you couldn't be accidentally speeding in this thing, because I kid you not.
Yeah, true.
I kid you not, this thing is, and the 0 to 60 in this is actually, Gas Tax mentioned this last time. Actually mentioned that his Audi R8 has the same 0 to 60 as this.
Yep.
That's insane. This is a supercar, basically.
It's America's sports car. We'll leave it at that. The internet gets butthurt when you call it a supercar. I will say, it feels super to me.
It does.
Okay? so we'll leave it at that. But you know, it doesn't come with the price tag or the materials or like the build quality and the, you know.
But this is perfect for the person that is looking for just that nice V8 transmission. And just, man, this thing could be so many things. That's the crazy thing. It could be a drag car, drift car, track car. So many things.
Yep.
I love this exhaust too because it's not too droney as much as you would think it is.
Yeah, you can even go down to 6 if you want. But you barely hear it.
And it's just such a nice cruiser. I don't feel my body like bouncing around for being this low.
Yeah, it's another thing. It's a good daily. It's comfortable.
It is.
Like the seats are comfy. The suspension isn't like crazy harsh. It's like not bad on gas. Like I can get like 26, 27 out of this thing if I'm really hypermiling.
I could drift in this thing, right?
Please don't. But like the Genesis is a 5-liter. This is a 7-liter. They get pretty much the same gas mileage. Around like 20, 19, 20.
Everything feels so nice and notchy in this thing.
Yeah. And the best thing about this car too is no bullshit nannies. It doesn't rev match auto for you. It, you know, it doesn't like fucking deactivate cylinders. None of that. It's just it is what it is, and you are the driver and you are in control. Window.
That's therapeutic. It's such a high rev V8. That's what's crazy too.
Big V8, yeah.
I'm glad I never owned something like this at my age, because I would have definitely. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I would have a little bit more confidence if it was warm out. But right now,
Same. I'm the same way there. Yeah.
right now it's like I'm kind of playing like this with my with the throttle.
But truthfully too, even if it's like hot, 85, 90 degrees, you still have to do that. There's still enough power and like not enough traction with these tires at least to like break loose.
And what does it
heightened right now.
what does it have in the back? Is it 325s?
There's 325s, but like I don't remember the tire on there, but it's not like the most expensive tire on it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like the ones that the dealer put on it. Kind of.
Yeah. They might even be run flats, to be honest. I never really.
It's pretty amazing how great this car is. Would I buy one of these? Yes. Should I buy one of these? That's another question. Anyways, that's as much as I'm getting from this experience. You guys, please go ahead and check out Xtalgic on Instagram, YouTube, mostly on YouTube. He has a lot of amazing content, especially when it comes to automotive, as well as it's a mixture of things, but mostly automotive. It's a lot of cool stuff. Really slept on YouTuber, and I'm not saying that just because he's my friend and he knows this. He is very talented, amazing B-roll. Truly, he's the guy that actually inspired me to even create a YouTube channel and work, do what I do today when it comes to video now. So please go check him out.
Thank you.
Please, please, please. Link in the description. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining in. Till